the first lecture of the television, we have discussed about the television system. And already you know in television system, we have two types of the information. One is the picture information, another is the audio information. The picture information has to be converted into a video signal, that is the electrical signal, and then only it can be transmitted. So here to convert this picture information into a video signal, we require the camera. And inside the camera, we have a camera tube. Now this camera tube are operating on a different principle. In the previous lecture, I already discussed the two different principles. One of the principle is a photo emission. Photo emission means that photo emission means when the light will be incident on that material, then the electrons are going to be emitted, which is called a photoelectron. Then the another method is a photoconduction. Photoconduction method means when the light will be incident on this material, then its resistance property is going to change. It is going to increase with the intensity of the light. So here we are going to discuss one of the camera tube which is based on a photoconduction principle. And this camera tube is known as the Vidicon tube. It is a most popular camera tube, remember. And it is also very cheap. So if you look at this construction of this camera tube, then here you will find a one glass envelope is there. This is the glass envelope. Or you can say it is a kind of a glass tube. Inside the glass tube, we have a electron gun and the image plate is there. So basically camera tube is divided in two parts. One is the electron gun and another is a image plate which is a photosensitive, which is connected with the photosensitive plate. Now what is the function of the electron gun? So here if you look at this, that the electron gun is going to produce a sharp electron beam. And this sharp electron beam will work as a kind of a pencil. Means with the help of the pencil we draw the picture, same way with the help of the electron gun we can trace the picture. Now how we can produce the sharp electron beam? So inside this camera tube, if you look at this, then first of all we have the filament which is used in the bulb. Same kind of the filament is there. When we apply certain amount of the voltage, normally this filament voltage is going to be a 6.3 volt is there, or in certain case it is a 12 volt is there. So due to this, the filament is going to be heat up, and this filament is inside the cathode. So here the cathode is going to be, this cathode is going to be coated with some material like a selenium, like a sorry, not a selenium, but like a barium oxide or a strontium oxide. Remember, this cathode is coated with some oxide material. So due to the heat is produced by the filament, and due to the heat, the electrons are going to be emitted from the cathode. Because the work function of the barium oxide is very low, so with the small temperature, these electrons are going to be emitted. Remember, here we can have a number of the electrons are there. Now to control this number of the electrons, it has to pass through a control grid. The control grid is connected with some negative voltage. Here, whatever the control grid is there, it is connected to a negative potential. So now due to this negative potential and the electron has a negative charge, so there will be a kind of a repulsion. Only the electron which has a higher amount of the energy that will be come out from this control plate. Remember. So these electrons are moving in this way. Here. So whatever the electrons are coming from the control plate, it is going to be scattered. Some of the electrons will move in a straight direction, some of the electrons are moving in this direction, some of the electrons are moving in this direction. So we have to focus the electron. And for the focusing of the electron, we have a focus coil that you can see here. This is a focus coil and it is on the neck of the camera tube. So basically this focus coil is producing a magnetic field. Focus coil, when we pass the current, so it produces the magnetic field. And already you know that when the electron is entered into the magnetic field, then it is going to be deviated. So the focus coil is designed in such a way that the force of the electron will be in this direction here. This electron is going to be moved like this and it is going to produce a sharp electron beam. So whatever the scattered electrons are there, when it is passing through a focus coil, it will work as a kind of a electromagnetic lens. Here whatever the focus coil is there, working as a electromagnetic lens. As a result, whatever the electrons are going to be scattered, and now they will move in a one particular direction, and the beam is going to be a star. Okay. Then here we have a accelerating anode. Now the name itself is suggesting that due to this accelerating anode, the electron is going to be accelerated. Why the electron has to be accelerated? When these electrons are coming out from the control plate, the energy of the electron is very less. And the sum of the electron cannot be reached to the ray up to a image plate or the photosensitive plate. So we have to accelerate the electron. Now when we accelerate, then the energy of the electron is also going to increase. So when this electron beam will strike the image plate or the photosensitive plate, it must have some sufficient energy. Otherwise, it will not produce the current. So this energy of the electron beam can be gained when it will be passed through the accelerating grid. This accelerating grid is normally connected to a positive voltage round about a plus 400 volt. So here the grid has a positive voltage, electron has negative voltage, that's why the electron is going to be attracted and it is going to be accelerated. And already you know that in acceleration means F is equal to ma. So acceleration will increase, so that will increase the speed. Means you can say V. Velocity of the electron is increasing. So the kinetic energy 1/2 mv square, that is the kinetic energy of the electron, and that will also increase. So as a result, electron has a high energy. So when this electron strikes to this image plate, it has sufficient energy. Okay. So this is about how this electron gun is going to produce a sharp electron beam. So once you have this kind of a sharp electron beam, means these electrons are moving in this direction, and it is going to be incident on a photosensitive plate. Now look at this part of the diagram. Here we have an object, and this object is focused on an image plate through a lens. It is a kind of a convex lens. And simply we have this glass plate to protect the tube. This is simply a glass plate. Remember, right? And near to this glass plate, we have a conductive layer. This conductive layer is known as the image plate. So, and the conductive layer is connected with the photosensitive plate. Photosensitive plate already mentioned that when this light will be incident, then the resistance of the photosensitive material is going to change. So, if you see the cross-section view of this, then we have a kind of a conductive layer, and then we have this kind of a photoconductive layer. They are in contact, so basically this photoconductive layer is working as a kind of a resistance. Remember, here this is a conductive layer, this is a photosensitive layer. Correct? Now remember how this is going to work. This photoconductive layer is connected with some resistance and with some voltage, and this voltage is round about a 30 voltage there. The electron beam here, this electron beam, let us say it is incident here, and you can see this electron beam is coming out from the cathode, and the cathode is connected to the ground. So whatever the electron beam is coming out, then this is giving a ground potential. So here we have a ground potential, you can say it is connected to ground. Now let us say some light is incident here. This is your a light. It is incident on this. So due to this, what will happen? That whatever the resistance is there, this resistance is going to decrease, because you have a bright light, and due to the bright light the resistance will decrease. This resistance will decrease, so here there will be a flow of the current, and due to this flow of the current you will get some potential, and that potential will be according to the intensity of the light. If the intensity of the light will increase here, if the intensity of the light will increase, then the resistance will decrease. Resistance will decrease, so you will get a more voltage drop across this resistance R. If we have a no light, then this resistance will be very large. So the voltage across this resistance R will be a small. So in this way, if this light is going to be fluctuated, then here you can say the video signal is also going to be fluctuated like this. So again, try to understand. This object is focused on an image plate through a lens. Image plate is nothing but it is a kind of a conductive layer. This conductive layer is connected with the photosensitive plate, which is working as a kind of a variable resistance. This resistance is changing as the intensity of the light is changing. Here, when this electron beam is striking to this photoconductive layer, means it will provide a ground potential to the photosensitive layer. And on the other side, the light is incident. So the resistance of this photoconductive material is changing as the intensity of the light is changing. Now here this plate is connected with the positive supply. So as the intensity is changing, the resistance of the photoconductive layer changing. So due to that the current will change and you will get a different voltage drop across the resistance, which is known as a video signal. So in this way, your light is converted into a electrical signal. Now, here you have to scan a one complete picture. Remember, here the whatever the picture is there, you can call it as a frame. So here we have this kind of the frame, and the picture is there. So here the electron beam has to scan the picture, means it has to read the picture. So how it will read the picture? That it will start to scan the picture in this direction, line by line it will scan, and correspondingly it will produce the electrical signal. Now how this electron beam? Here electron beam is moving from a left to right, as well as also moving from top to bottom. Correct? So the position of the electron beam is changing from left to right and from top to bottom. And this is possible only that if we use the deflection coil. Here the deflection coil is there. So there are two deflection. So one of the deflection, which is from left to right, it is known as a horizontal deflection. And another, which is from top to bottom, it is known as a vertical deflection. So we have horizontal deflection coil, which will deflect the electron beam from left to right. Horizontal deflection coil will deflect the electron beam from left to right. Correct? And the vertical deflection coil will deflect the electron beam from top to bottom. This is actually known as a scanning. So later on we will discuss the scanning in detail. But to deflect this electron beam, we require a coil. And in the coil, when we pass this current, like a sawtooth current, here, this kind of a current will be there. This is a sawtooth current. So electron beam it produces the magnetic field. Due to this deflection coil, the magnetic field is going to be produced. And here the electron is entering in the magnetic field, and according to the direction of the magnetic field, electron beam is going to be deflected in this manner. So, in a oscilloscope, remember, in a oscilloscope we have a CRT. In the CRT, the electron beam is deflected due to the electrostatic plate. In the CRT, we have horizontal deflection plate, vertical deflection plate is there, and there is a electric field. When the electron entered into the electric field, then it is going to be deflected. Here, instead of the electrostatic field, we applied a magnetic field. So magnetic deflection is there, and due to that, when the electron entered into the magnetic field, and it is also a variable. Here the current is go on increasing, so intensity of the magnetic field is go on increasing, and this electron beam will move from left to right. So then again we have to deflect the beam in vertical direction. So another coil is there. In another coil also we applied this kind of a sawtooth waveform. So the electron beam will move from top to bottom. So in this way, whatever the deflection coil is there, it is going to use for the scanning of the picture. This deflection coil sometimes it is also known as a yoke, deflection yoke. Technical language, it is known as a deflection yoke. Okay? So here whatever the photosensitive plate is there, this photosensitive plate is made up of some semiconductor material like a selenium. That in previous lecture already we have discussed the which kind of the materials are used, correct? Or a gallium material. So these are the semiconductor material which is used for making the photosensitive plate. Now we will discuss about a picture tube which is used in a television receiver. Let us see what is the construction of the picture tube. Here, what is the difference between the camera tube and the picture tube? The camera tube is converting your picture information into a electrical signal, and the picture tube is converting a electrical signal or a video signal into a picture again. Correct? So camera tube is used in a transmitter, and the picture tube are used in a receiver. So let us see what is the construction of a picture tube. So here you can see the construction of a picture tube, and again the picture tube, like a camera tube, again in a picture tube we have a electron gun plus screen is there. Screen. Now what is a picture tube? So again we have a glass envelope, but it is a large one, larger glass envelope, and also there is a kind of a vacuum. So you can say this is a large glass envelope is there, and this part of the glass envelope which is known as a electron gun, and here we have the screen. The size of the screen is very large compared to the camera tube. Here the screen is made up of some phosphorus material. No doubt there will be a glass coating will be there, and the glass coating, inside the glass there will be a coating of a phosphorus material. Now if you look at the construction, again what is the electron gun? So basically the elements of the electron gun are filament, cathode, control grid, and focusing electrodes are there. So again here you can see that K is nothing but it is a cathode. This is the cathode, and inside the cathode there will be a filament will be there. Remember here. So this is filament F will be there. When we apply certain voltage to the filament, it will be heat up, and due to that the cathode is also going to be heat up. Again here whatever the cathode is there, this cathode is going to be coated with a barium oxide or kind of a oxide material is coated, and due to this heat here the electrons are going to be emitted. Electrons are emitted. Okay? Now to control this number of the electron, we require a control grid. Normally this control grid is connected to a negative potential. It is connected to negative potential. Now here if there will be a large negative voltage, then the less number of the electron will come out from this a control grid. And if it is a less negative voltage, then the more electron will come out from this electron gun. this number of the electron is going to be strike to the screen. It's going to be strike on a phosphorus material. So if you want a bright light, then the more number of the electron has to be incident. For the less number of the electrons are required. So in a television, we have a kind of a brightness control. And this brightness control means what? That whatever the voltage we are changing here, this is nothing but it is your brightness control. So if the negative voltage will be less, the screen will be more bright because the more electrons are incident on the screen. And the larger negative voltage will give you a less number of the electron, so the brightness of the screen will be less. Okay. Then after this electron is passing through a accelerating anode. Because I already mentioned that the emitted electron has less energy, it has not a sufficient energy to reaching up to a screen. So we have to accelerate the electron so its kinetic energy will increase. So it will pass through this accelerating anode. This accelerating anode is normally connected to some positive voltage like a 1000 volt. But this voltage is also not a sufficient. That we will discuss later. Then we have a focusing anode. Here, whatever the electrons are coming out, then one of the electron is moving in this direction, another electron is moving like this, third electrons are moving like this, because they are scattered and they are moving in a different direction. But if you want to produce a sharp electron beam, then only you can have a sharp picture on the screen. Remember. So to make it sharp, here we have a kind of a anode which is called a focusing anode. Focusing anode. And this focusing anode will be at a very high potential. It will be at very high potential. So here whatever the focusing anode is there, it produces electrostatic lens. Remember, this system will work as a electrostatic lens. Now basically what is the electrostatic lens? So here we have one of the plate, another plate is there, then here two plates are there. Now these plates are at lower potential, these plates are at upper potential, higher potential. So there will be an electric field like this. This electric field will be there. Now inside this electric field, we have equipotential surface. So if you find out the equipotential surface, then the equipotential surface will be like this. And it will form a kind of a lens. So when this electron is moving in this direction, let us say, but due to this equipotential surface, it will be deflected in this direction. Suppose another electron is moving in this direction, but due to this, here it is going to be deflected in this direction. And you will get a sharp electron beam. So that is the function of a electrostatic lens. So once a sharp electron beam is generated, then here on a picture tube, you can see this is a kind of a coating is there. It is a aqueduct conductive coating. And this is known as a final anode. And this final anode, we applied 18,000 volt. Remember, inside the glass, there is a kind of a coating, and this coating is connected to a 18,000 volt. Why you require this much amount of the voltage? Because we have to accelerate the electron. the electron must have sufficient energy to interact with the phosphorus material. So, if the electron energy is large, then you will have a bright picture. So, when these electrons are coming out from all this electrode, then it is going to be accelerated toward screen by applying a 18,000 volt. And just now I already mentioned that when this electron is going to be accelerated, so that will increase the speed of the electron and that will increase the kinetic energy of the electron. So here the kinetic energy of the electron is increasing. So energy of the electron increase and it has a sufficient energy. Now when this electron is striking to a phosphorus coating, then there will be a kind of interaction. Due to this interaction, here the light is going to be emitted. That intensity of the light depends on how much energy is provided by the electron. So if the electron will give you more energy, more bright picture will be there, or that particular area will be more bright. Now when it is going to be interactive, then the light is produced as well as some secondary electrons are also produced. And this secondary electrons are going to be collected by this coating, because it is at very high potential. So another purpose of this coating is to collect the secondary electron. If the secondary electrons are not collected, then it will be accumulated near this screen. And due to this, whatever your electron beam is there, it is going to be obstacle. It is known as a negative space charge. Here, the negative space charge will be produced. And due to this, our original electron beam is going to be obstacle. So, to remove this negative space charge, the secondary electrons are collected by this a coating. Okay. Now, the screen here, whatever the screen is there, then in this screen, the electron is going to strike to the center of the screen. But to deflect the electron beam from left to right, like this, as well as from top to bottom, so the two deflections are there. One is a horizontal deflection and another is a vertical deflection. So this deflection of the electron beam is provided by the deflection yoke. We have two different coils are there. When we pass this current, here what kind of the current will be there? Again this current is a kind of a sawtooth current. This sawtooth current is applied to the horizontal deflection coil as well as the vertical deflection coil. And due to this, this electron beam will scan the complete screen of the picture tube. Scan the complete picture of the picture tube. Correct? So again, here the whatever the deflection is there, it is a electromagnetic deflection, because in the coil when we pass the current, it will produce a magnetic field. Here it will produce a magnetic field, and due to this magnetic field, this electron is going to be deflected like this, and it will strike it here. Or it can be deflected in this direction and it will strike this beam here. So to deflect this electron beam from top to bottom as well as from left to right, the deflection yoke is there. Deflection yoke consists of a horizontal deflection coil as well as the vertical deflection coil. So remember, here the control grid will give you a brightness of the screen. If it is more negative, less brightness, less negative, more brightness. Then whatever the video signal is there, this video signal is applied to this a cathode. Here the cathodes are connected here, and this video signal we apply in this way. Remember, this cathode is connected to this video signal. Here you should remember the cathode is connected to a less negative voltage, and the control grid is connected to a large negative voltage. So due to this, the voltage between the cathode and the grid, that is known as VKG. Due to this, the voltage between the cathode and the grid is going to change, and accordingly the number of the electrons are coming out. So if we have, remember here, if you have the maximum voltage, the maximum voltage is corresponding to what? A white color. So in that case, the voltage between the cathode and the grid will be large, it will be more positive. So the large number of the electron will come out and produce the white area. Here the less voltage is there, so the voltage between the cathode grid is small, and less number of the electron will come out from the electron gun, and that will produce a dark area on the picture tube. In the picture tube, the size of the picture tube is normally measured in a diagonal position. Remember, when we say that the picture tube is of a 20 inch, 20 inch doesn't mean that horizontal or vertical. 20 inch means the diagonal distance is there. It is a 20 inch picture tube. You can have a picture tube of a 20, 22, 25, 28, like this. Picture tubes are available in the market. Now this picture tube is producing a black and white picture. It is known as the monochrome picture tube. But if you want a color, then in the color picture tube we have a different construction. The three different electron guns will be there, and then either for a red color, green color, and blue color, the three electron guns will be there, and it is going to be combined on a screen and produce a different combination of the color. In that case, the three different input video signals are there for the red, green, and the blue. Remember. So, and then it is going to be combined on this screen. So this is about the construction of a picture tube. In the next lecture, we will discuss about a scanning. Means how the complete picture is going to be converted into a video signal. Or you can say how the camera is going to read the picture. Means in that case, it has to divide the picture in number of the lines. That we will discuss in the next lecture.